Welcome to Pastor Gracewin's Relationship Podcast. We are back with a new episode, and I know this teaching is going to bless you. Through Pastor Gracewin Relationship Podcast, we talk about vital issues in life. We talk about how a person ought to be a healthy single, how he or she can find their life partner, and how they can do marriage in the ways of God. We take truths from the Bible that help us in our relationships. And I know that many are being blessed, and we are blessed reading your praise reports and your testimonials, your comments and your feedback. Thank you so much. Keep them coming. And we strongly urge that you would share these episodes with your friends and family. Let them be blessed. Let them receive clarity about relationships and marriage, and let them be blessed by your ministry. Let's get into our episode today, where we're talking about 4 correlated needs of the husband and wife. Why are we talking about needs of each other in this episode? You see, love is one of the most important things in a relationship. But how do we define love? See, the world defines love as something that is feely, mushy and emotional. It's about good feelings towards each other. But the Bible says love is way more greater than all of that. Love is a choice. Love is seen in sacrifice. Love is shown in words and actions, and it's very active. It's a serious business. Dr. Miles Monroe has given us one of the best definitions for love. In one of his books he writes, he says that love is promising to meet the needs of your loved one, consistently, sacrificially, expecting nothing in return. This entire definition, I believe, has stemmed out of 1 Corinthians 13 and verse number 5, where we read that love is not self-seeking. When I deal with my wife, I put myself first and I demand that my needs be met. Instead of focusing on the needs of my wife and catering to her needs and making myself available to take care of her needs, then that is not love. But if I put my wife first and seek to provide for her needs and, be affectionate and take care of all that she wants in life, then that is love. Love is not self-seeking. So in order for love to be expressed in the way it should be, and in order for the loved one to feel special and loved, we ought to know the needs of each other and cater to each other's needs. Hence, we're talking about needs. In fact, the last few episodes have been fully dedicated to talking about the needs of the wife, the needs of the husband, and how each need is very important and different and unique, and how God has created the male and the female differently according to their purpose and their personality, and how we can cater to the need of our spouse. Today, I want to talk to you about 4 correlated needs. In other words, there's a need that the wife has, which is correlated to another need that the husband has. And I'm going to give you 4 of those correlated needs. Correlated need number 1 is this: love and respect. In Ephesians 5 and verse number 33, we read how the husband is exhorted to love his wife. But in turn, the wife is not exhorted to love their husband. The Apostle Paul doesn't say, husbands, love your wives, and wives, love your husbands. Because that would have gone on in very simple terms, really easy to grasp and understand. But he chooses to take another direction when it comes to the wife showing her love to the husband. He says, husbands, love your wives. Then he says, let the wife revere or reverence her husband. So here is the first correlated need. The wife needs love. She doesn't just want love. Love is her fuel. Love is what enables her to be who she ought to be according to the purpose of God. Love is what provides for her needs and really makes her that woman who is healthy, who takes care of the family, who's a good wife and a good mother and a good social being. It's love. Love is the fuel. But there is a need which correlates to this need in the woman. And the need in the husband that correlates to love is respect. As much as the woman needs to be loved, the husband needs to be respected. He has a need to be respected, and You see, women shouldn't look at this as ego or being prideful or being too demanding. It's in the nature and the personality of the man to expect respect. So what are the ways that the wife can show respect to her husband? The Amplified Version, helps us to understand more. Let me read out the Amplified Version, Ephesians 5 and verse number 33. However, let each man of you, without exception, love his wife as being, in a sense, his very own self. And let the wife see that she respects and reverences her husband. How does she do that? That she notices him, regards him, honors him, prefers him, venerates and esteems him, that she defers to him and praises him, loves and admires him exceedingly. What a mouthful. Regards him, honors him, praises him, admires him exceedingly. This is the respect that your husband needs in order to function as a good husband and the father and the leader of the house. He needs respect. So every woman of God under the sound of my voice, realize that man has this legitimate need for respect. And if you will admire him and respect him in the way God wants us to, then he will function and operate in the highest level possible and fulfill God's given potential on his life. And husbands ought to know that there is a correlated need to your need of being respected. And it's the need that the woman has to be loved. How do you love your woman? You love means you care for her, you cherish her. You show affection and you provide for your wife's well-being. That's how you love your wife. That's a need. That's a very important thing. I remember the first premarital counseling that I received from a pastor, and my pastor said, very clearly, he said, take care of your wife. Love her. That is all there is to counseling, he said. But what an intelligent way of putting that in a line, but that's an important thing. The wife needs your love. Make sure you convey your love to her. On the way back from office, if you remember her favorite snack, pick it up. If she loves flowers, why don't you bring them often? Why don't you call up several times during the day and find out how she's doing? And if there's a need that she's communicated to you about, don't forget that need. Make a note of it. Make sure it is provided, it is cared for, it is catered to. Make sure that you sacrifice your time in order to be with her. That you sacrifice some of your chores, some of your projects in order to be with her, to cater for her needs. Make sure you let others wait in order to provide for her needs. And let her know that she's the most important person in your life. She really wants to know that you love her. That's why, wives say, when was the last time you told me that you love me? The husband is puzzled. Like after 20 years of marriage, you're asking me if I love you or not. If I didn't love you, then how did I even get married to you? Pastor, I told her 20 years ago, I love you. I told to my wife, now she's asking me if I love her or not. See, it's the woman's need. You've got to tell her, remind her that you love her, that you cherish her, and then that she's a blessing to you. That's a need. That's the fuel that runs her engine. And when you love your wife with all your heart, when you care for her and you're affectionate towards her, she will be the healthy human being. She'll be the healthy human being who will be the great mother that she ought to be and the great wife that you need her to be. First correlated need is love and respect. The man needs respect and the woman needs love. Here's another correlated need. Sexual fulfillment and affection. The man needs sexual fulfillment. Your husband needs sexual fulfillment. See, it's a need that even sometimes the male does not understand. This need is strong. This fulfillment gives him confidence on another level. When this need is not met consistently, then the husband is not able to function and operate in his fullest capacity, in his complete potential. You see, the wife, being the only legitimate person to cater to this need, must not neglect this need. If that happens, the wife is breaking his spirits down and he is broken-hearted and he is not completed in this area of sexual fulfillment. That's why the scripture says in 1 Corinthians 7 and verse number 3, the Apostle Paul writes and says, Let the husband fulfill his marital duty to his wife. See, it's not an option. It's not marital option, it's marital duty. Then he says, likewise the wife to her husband. He goes on to explain, maybe for a few days you are fasting and praying. You want to take a break from intimacy, from sexual intimacy. He says, do that with mutual consent. Once that period is over, come back together again, lest the devil tempt you. It can lead to a lot of issues in marriage, a lot of understanding issues in marriage. You see, sex was given to be the super glue of marriage. So it's a marital duty, and the wife render to the husband the affection that is due him. Now there's a correlated need on the part of the woman. The man needs sexual fulfillment. There are no two ways about it. Yes, it's a fact. But in order to get that sexual fulfillment, the man is not supposed to be that domineering person who demands sexual fulfillment from the wife every time he feels like it. No, that is not the way God intended it to be. What the man has to do is this, to realize that there's a correlated need in his wife. It's called affection. In fact, one of the versions of our English Bible says, 1 Corinthians 7:3, let the husband render to his wife the affection that is due her. Affection. What is affection? Affection is the soft-natured expressions of love, where you call her and you check on her and you make sure that her needs are met. And it's about these small things of love. It's in the tone that you speak to your wife. It's in the fact that when you reach home, she's the first one that you speak to. It's in the fact that you want to hold hands with her as you walk along the streets, shopping, or just a casual stroll or a walk in the park. It's that act of love and gentleness that causes her to feel special and loved and protected and nurtured. You see, the wife needs your affection. See, man, when he needed a wife, God did not take a piece of his bone from the skull or from the foot. He takes the rib. Why? Because the woman is supposed to be close to the man, in his bosom, close to his heart. That speaks of affection, my friend. In fact, I would be bold to say that affection is the number one need of your woman. She needs to know that you love her, you care for her, and that you will affectionately cater to all her needs. So when you do this, in this environment of affection, your need is also met. You see, the wife needs to be connected emotionally before she can open up in order for you to experience your sexual fulfillment. But to the man, it's different. You see in the book of Proverbs, chapter number 5, when you read from verses 15 to 18, we will discover that the sexual nature of man is alluded to a fountain, but the sexual nature of the woman is compared to a well. See, there's a difference. The fountain, the water is ready. It's ready. See, that's the state of readiness that the man is. Wives complain, they say, he always wants sexual intimacy, brother. He needs it more. You have to pray for him. What do I pray for? That's the nature of the man. No, definitely I am not, for forcing somebody into a sexual relationship, even though they're your wife. We are definitely against marital rape. We are not for that. But there's a legitimate need in man. The man, the sexual nature is like a fountain. He's always ready, seems to be. But the woman is like a well. The water is deep. You've got to draw it out. So every man needs to know how to draw sexual intimacy from the woman. That way of drawing is called affection. Like how we use ropes to draw out water from the well, you use affection in order to prepare your wife for that sexual intimacy where both of you are fulfilled. Where it's not just you as a man, sexually attains climax, but both of you together, you experience that high point in sexual intimacy where you enjoy each other towards utmost pleasure. God wants you to enjoy your sexual intimacy. But here's this correlated need I want you to remember today. The man has a need for sexual fulfillment and the wife has a need for affection. So when you meet the need of affection, your wife makes way for your need also to be met. And of course, the woman also needs sexual intimacy, but there's a correlated need. She needs affection as much as you need physical intimacy and sexual fulfillment. Remember that. Here is correlated need number 3. Communication and words of affirmation. The woman needs communication. The man needs words of affirmation. Women want to speak more and they also want to be listened to. They want their husband to come back home, speak to them a lot, and also listen to them with their eyes, with their hearts. They want their husband to know what they are feeling, not just what happened, but how they felt when something happened in their life. And when they ask the husband about how was your day, when the husband says, good. How was the match? Won. How was the dress? Good. How am I looking? Beautiful. The woman expects more. She wants details. She wants details because that's how God has created her to be. She's more emotional and she needs more communication. But the man, not necessarily does he need too many details, you see. The man wants or has a need for words of affirmation. He needs his wife to be his number 1 fan. He needs his wife to look at him and say, I'm proud of you. You're a good dad. You work so hard to provide for our family and our needs. We are so protected and secure because of your hard work. You are an achiever. You are great. You are amazing. The husband needs to hear that. Just like how the woman needs communication, the man needs words of affirmation. So, wives, quit putting your husbands down with your words. Don't insult him. Don't, underestimate his abilities. Keep condemning him. Stop comparing with somebody else. Celebrate your man. Be his number 1 fan. Encourage him. And whenever he does something that is extra special, make sure you value that and make sure you say that you're proud of what he's doing for you and the children. Give words of affirmation. So correlated need number 3 is this. The wife needs communication. So men, be better talkers and listeners. You've got to do that. And wives, you need to be people who encourage and really who can be proud of their husbands. And the wife needs to know that her husband needs words of affirmation. Correlated need number 4. Recreational companionship and conversational companionship. The wife, because she has a need for communication, she's looking for a conversational companion. That's why I would say husbands need to take time off to speak to their wives, not be on your phone always. And, when you come back home, let not the TV be your first resort, or don't open up your laptop and start working all over again. Pick up your phone and just keep checking messages. One of the first things you've got to do is go find where your wife is. Is she in the kitchen? Or is she, in the dining area? Visit, speak to her and say, how are you doing? So happy to see you. How was your day? Let your wife speak to you. And listen to her with your heart. Be sensitive to what she's saying. Get down to that level of emotions. Don't just be that logical thinker, problem solver, leadership mindset guy always. You've got to be empathetic and you've got to get to that emotional level of conversation, because she needs a conversational companion. She needs you to know that she has something to say and that she wants to know that there is somebody to listen. In the same way, the husband needs a recreational companion. Now, what is recreation? Recreation consists of entertainment activities and activities that bring little joy to our hearts, that takes our mind off of our job and off of all the commitments that we have and puts you in a mode of relaxation for a while. See, that's what we do as recreational activities. For example, the husband, maybe he is good at sports and one of his interests is to play a game like football or cricket, and the wife needs to understand that's a need. Now, I'm not recommending that, husbands quit their jobs and, keep playing and just get into entertainment and keep entertaining yourself. Definitely, no, we don't do that. But the wife needs to know that when you're a man who's a hardworking person, who's got a career, who wants to, once a while go out for a match, or once a while watch a football game or an IPL game, or once a while watch a good movie with good, godly values and decent movie, don't shut the TV off. Can you imagine your husband doing that to you while you're cooking or while you're on the phone, talking to your friend? Yeah, I mean, like, number one, no husband has the guts to do it. He won't do it. But can you imagine doing that? How disrespectful can that become? Sometimes wives barge into the room where the husband is watching a match, a cricket match or a game, and they say, if they win or they lose, what is it to you? Do they give that money to you? They ask these questions, and the husband is like, they don't have to give me money and all of that. This is one of my interests. See, I work hard. I'm focused on so many things. But this is, when my team is playing, let me cheer for them. Allow him to be that person, you see. Don't become a mother in that time, Many husbands are sad because their wives turn into their mother sometimes, saying, as if he's a small little boy and they want to discipline him. Don't get into that mode. He's a man, for God's sake. He's working hard for your family. Realize that he has a recreational need. I want to scream this on the top of my voice to many wonderful women of God who are wives and who wants to see their husbands prosper, but they don't get this idea that their husband wants an entertainment here and there, or once in a week, once in 2 weeks, he needs to go out for a cricket match or some kind of recreational activity, and they discourage that. You've got to realize that that's a legitimate need. It will mean so much to him if you allow him to do that, and plus, if you can participate in what he is enjoying. Why don't you sit with him for that next 45 minutes and say, what's this movie all about? Why do you enjoy watching this? What's this show that you're following? What's this game? I don't understand. I don't know why, this man hits the ball and they say it's a boundary, and all of these girls, they're cheering, they're dancing, and they have this joy on their face. And why is the umpire doing this? And what's the meaning? Who won? And what does it mean to us? Why are you happy? Who's your favorite player? Get on into the game. That will bless him. One of the best things you can do to your husband is find out what brings him joy and join with him and spend time doing that together. And guess what happens? While you're at it, you get that opportunity to have your need met. What's your need? Wife, you have a need for a conversational companionship, and your husband is now interested in what you also need to speak and hear. Notice all of these needs, they are connected to this one important principle of marriage called companionship. See, marriage is doing life together, spending time together. Whatever you do, you plan together, decide together. Even though you are two individuals, you are united in your vision, united in your purpose, united in your finances, united. You merge your address, you merge your finances, you merge your vision together, you merge your goals, you merge your bodies. That is sexual fulfillment, marital intimacy. Marriage is doing life together. And all of these needs, you see, they are correlated. So the husband, he needs respect, but he needs to realize that the wife needs love. You be the initiator. The man of the house needs to be the initiator. The husband needs sexual fulfillment, but that happens when you create an environment of affection. You cater to your wife's need. The husband needs words of affirmation, but the wife needs communication. Speak to her more, listen to her more. And correlated need number 4, the wife needs a conversational companion. So speak to her more, listen to her more as a husband. The wife needs to remember that the man needs recreational companionship. He needs entertainment, he needs recreational activities, and leave it be. Let him be a healthy human being, and let him be that great husband and the great father that you've always wanted him to be. And I know that these truths are helping you, bringing clarity and shedding light on so many important things about marriage. And we will talk about more about relationships in the days to come. But make sure to pass these teachings and be a blessing to someone. I'll see you again soon.